Did you know that human activities have significantly altered the world's freshwater cycle? As we've grown and developed, we've left a mark on our planet, and not always in a good way. Some of these impacts are glaringly obvious. Take, for instance, the unfortunate extinction of the Java stingery, a marine creature that once thrived in our oceans, or the shifts in our seasons causing record-breaking temperatures year after year. But beyond these visible changes, there's a more subtle yet equally critical victim of our actions, the freshwater cycle. Now you might be wondering, what's this freshwater cycle? Well, it's the continuous recycling of the not-so-salty water found in our lakes and rivers. It's a vital part of our global ecology, playing a significant role in supporting life and maintaining our climate. Before the age of industrialization, this cycle was considered stable. The water flowed, evaporated, condensed, and rained down in a balanced rhythm, ensuring that the earth remained hydrated and fertile. But as we embraced the era of factories and machines, this rhythm began to falter. As we step into the era of industrialization, our freshwater cycle took a drastic turn. From constructing dams that obstruct the natural flow of rivers, to deforestation that leads to soil erosion and changes in rainfall patterns, our actions have caused significant disruptions. Even large-scale irrigation practices, designed to feed our growing population, have contributed to the problem, altering the natural moisture balance in our soil and streams. Add to this the overarching issue of global warming, another byproduct of our industrial growth, and it's clear that we've pushed the Earth's freshwater cycle far beyond its natural equilibrium. Exceptionally dry or wet conditions are now more frequent and widespread, leading to a higher risk of droughts and floods. So, as we continue our journey into the future, it's crucial that we acknowledge the impact of our actions. The freshwater cycle, like many other natural systems, is a delicate balance, and it's up to us to ensure that it remains stable for the sake of our planet and generations to come. To understand the extent of human impact on the freshwater cycle, researchers compared conditions from the pre-industrial era with those of the industrial period. This study was no small undertaking. It required a team of dedicated scientists to dive into centuries-old data, comparing the time frames of 1661 to 1860 with the period from 1861 to 2005. So how did they go about this? Well, they used something called hydrological models. These are complex simulations that can help us understand the movement and distribution of water within our planet. By using these models, the researchers were able to calculate two key elements: streamflow and soil moisture. Let's break those down a bit. Streamflow refers to the amount of water flowing through our rivers and streams. Soil moisture, on the other hand, tells us how much water is available in the soil for plants and animals to use. Together, these two elements paint a picture of the changes in the freshwater cycle and the potential factors driving those changes. Armed with this information, the researchers set their sights on areas across the globe, analyzing the data to understand the impact of human activity on the freshwater cycle. They weren't just looking for minor changes, though. They were searching for shifts so significant that they pushed the Earth's freshwater cycle beyond its pre-industrial stable state. And what they found was indeed alarming. The results revealed that our activities had driven the Earth's freshwater cycle far beyond its pre-industrial state. Exceptionally dry or wet conditions, which were once rare, have now become much more frequent and widespread. In the words of lead author Vili Virki, we found that exceptional conditions are now much more frequent and widespread than before, clearly demonstrating how human actions have changed the state of the global freshwater cycle. The findings were alarming. Our activities had driven the Earth's freshwater cycle far beyond its pre-industrial state. The question now is, what can we do to mitigate this impact? But that's a topic for the next scene. Stay tuned. So, what exactly caused these drastic changes in the freshwater cycle? Let's dive in. The study points a finger at a variety of human actions, and the culprits are not surprising. First up, we have global warming. It's been in the limelight for a while now, and for good reason. Rising temperatures are disrupting the balance of our freshwater cycle, leading to more extreme dry or wet conditions. Next up, we have forest loss. Trees play a crucial role in maintaining the water cycle. They draw up water from the soil and release it into the atmosphere. When we cut them down, we're not just losing a tree, we're disrupting an intricate natural process. Then there's dam construction. While dams can be useful for generating electricity and controlling floods, they also alter river flow and disrupt ecosystems, impacting the freshwater cycle. Lastly, we can't overlook the role of large-scale irrigation. This practice can lead to exceptionally dry streamflow and wet soil. For instance, the Nile, Indus, and Mississippi river basins are experiencing these effects. These human activities are causing a ripple effect, leading to more frequent and widespread exceptional conditions. Tropical and subtropical regions are seeing an uptick in both exceptionally dry streamflow and wet soil. At the same time, more temperate areas are experiencing an increased frequency of exceptionally wet conditions. But it's not just about drier rivers or wetter soils. The bigger picture is that these changes signal a shift in the freshwater cycles that goes beyond what our planet can handle. We're not just altering the cycle, we're pushing it beyond its planetary boundary, disrupting the system that keeps it stable. Our actions have a profound impact, and the consequences are severe. The freshwater cycle is a critical component of our planet's ecological and climatic processes. By tampering with it, we're meddling with the very lifeblood of our planet. Our actions are not only altering the freshwater cycle, but also transgressing the planetary boundary that keeps the system stable. It's a sobering thought, but it's also a call to action. We have the power to change the course we're on, and it's high time we used it. Interestingly, the impact of our actions on the freshwater cycle varies across the globe. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation, as the repercussions of human activity on the world's freshwater cycle show stark geographical differences. It's fascinating to see how the Earth's diverse ecosystems respond differently to the same stressors. The research team observed that tropical and subtropical regions, those places known for their balmy climate and lush vegetation, have seen a significant increase in dry conditions. This means that these areas, which are often home to some of the world's richest biodiversity, are experiencing lower streamflow and drier soil. This could have profound implications for the local wildlife and plant species that rely on these freshwater sources for survival. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the temperate areas. These regions, characterized by their moderate climate, are experiencing the exact opposite. They're seeing a higher frequency of wet conditions. Now, this might initially sound like a good thing, but remember, too much of anything can be detrimental. Excessively wet conditions can lead to flooding, soil erosion, and the displacement of local flora and fauna, not to mention the potential impact on human settlements in these areas. These geographical differences are a stark reminder of the intricate balance that exists within our planet's ecosystems. They underscore the fact that the freshwater cycle is not a standalone process, but rather it's closely interwoven with the climate, the geography, and the biology of a region. The disparity in effects also highlights the importance of adopting region-specific strategies when it comes to mitigating the impact of human activities on the freshwater cycle. What works in a dry, subtropical region might not necessarily work in a wet, temperate area. These discrepancies further highlight the complexity of the freshwater cycle and its sensitivity to human activities. It's a sobering reminder of the ripple effects our actions can have on the world's most precious resource, water. Knowing the problem is the first step towards the solution. Our world hangs in the balance, teetering on the precipice of irreversible change. But there is a glimmer of hope. The understanding we now possess about the profound effect of human activity on the freshwater cycle is not merely a dire warning, but a beacon guiding us towards the path of potential redemption. We know that our actions have disrupted the delicate equilibrium of the world's freshwater systems. The evidence is undeniable. Exceptionally dry or wet conditions, once rare, are now commonplace. The cause? Our own handiwork. Global warming, deforestation, dam construction, and large-scale irrigation. But this knowledge is not our condemnation. Instead, it is our compass, pointing us towards the actions we must take to rectify our past mistakes. To mitigate the resulting harm, we need to delve deeper into these dynamics. We need to examine how every dam erected, every forest felled, every degree of temperature rise affects the freshwater cycle. Only then can we devise policies and strategies that can truly make a difference. Our task is urgent. Every moment spent in inaction is a moment lost in the battle to protect our planet's freshwater systems. Each of these systems is a lifeline, not just for us, but for every creature that calls Earth home. And these lifelines are under threat. We must decrease the pressures we exert on these vital systems. We must rethink our approach to development, balancing our needs with the needs of the planet. We must find ways to reduce global warming, to halt deforestation, to manage our water resources more wisely.
It is a formidable challenge, but it is one we must rise to meet. The way forward may be fraught with difficulty, but it is a journey we must undertake. Because the alternative is unthinkable. We have been entrusted with a precious gift, the gift of life on this beautiful planet. It is our duty to safeguard this gift for ourselves and for future generations. So, let's step forward, armed with knowledge and driven by a sense of urgency. Our immediate priority should be to protect and preserve our freshwater systems, the lifelines of our planet.